Hey everyone, it's the patient hodler coming at you with another video, and in this one we are going to talk about the ongoing crypto market and Bitcoin meltdown. We are going to talk about whether our Ecomi tokens are safe or not, and we are going to assess a little bit the market sentiment in general. But before we start, please keep in mind that I'm a crypto and NFT investor and not a financial advisor. So please do your own research before you ape into the Ecomi token, into the crypto token, before you do any sales, any sell-offs, any panic reactions. Also, if you enjoy this type of content, please consider dropping a like, subscribe to my channel, and let me know what you think about the current situation in the comments below. This really helps my channel and is an absolute free way of supporting me. At this point, I also want to thank my Patreons, my rare hodlers of this channel, for always supporting my journey and making this journey possible. Now with that out of the way, let's get started. So, as we can see, the crypto market is not in a good shape right now. We have seen another massive sell-off, bringing Bitcoin to a new all-time low after roughly 1 month of sideways accumulation phase, where the price did not revisit the dump and the candle wick to the low of 25,000. But now we are already below that, and we can clearly see that this was not the bottom as many have claimed, and this was not the end of the sell-off. We are also seeing that usually there is a big root cause for these sell-offs, while the previous sell-off was caused by the complete collapse of the Terra USDT stablecoin that basically annihilated 60 billion US dollars from the market and caused the markets to collapse. Now we have the next breakdown of a serious institution in the crypto market, and that is the Celsius lending platform. And it's interesting to see how these things, when they collapse, rip the rest of the markets down as well. And that is obviously because these projects, whether it is a lending platform or a stable coin, these are highly intertwined with the other projects in the crypto market. And already with the Terra Luna project, there was the question how many other projects are so deeply rooted or inserted into these projects like Terra Luna that they could suffer the same problem. So think about, for example, Solana. Arweave, the data storage platform, the price of this one is highly dependent on the Solana project development. Or think about a project like Terra, where we have seen the most recent implosion. There were cryptos stored as collateral that should have been sold off then to finance the rebuying of the US Terra stablecoin. And obviously when the markets go down, you cannot sell it anymore for the values that they originally had, and the value that the cryptocurrency had is going down further when you are selling off those big amounts of cryptocurrency, leading to a big spiral downwards. So if there is another big protocol or another big exchange in that specific position and they cover their losses by sell-offs to fill up the hole that speculative investment or whatever other things like a bank run, as we have seen it right now on Celsius, could cause, then we have a major problem in the entire market. So what basically happened is that apparently there are many parallels between Celsius and Terra. For example, that Alex Mashinsky, the CEO of Celsius, has a similar attitude towards the investors as Do Kwon had to some other people. So both of them are not really with an appearance of a humble person. There was a tweet, I think, couple of days ago or even yesterday, only hours before Celsius locked down the withdrawal function from their platform, where someone claimed that he had problems to withdraw funds from the Celsius platform and was heavily attacked by Mashinsky, who claimed that this person wouldn't even know someone who had problems with the withdrawal. So lashed out against this person, that this person was only spreading FUD and might have been even paid for doing so. And this is obviously not good, but it bears a lesson for us. And this one is either you are humble and presenting yourself as humble, or the market and the situation and the investors will humble you. And we have seen that with Do Kwon. Do Kwon basically laughed before the Terra meltdown about that projects are dying in bear markets and that it is beautiful to watch them die.
I wonder how many of these companies you think are entering the space just because it's hot and there's a lot of funding versus the ones that will still be here, you know, like 2 to 5 years later.
95% are going to die.
Yeah.
95% are going to die. Yeah. Yeah, there's also entertainment in watching companies die too.
There's entertainment. Oh man, that's so evil. At least you get to learn from it, right?
And 1 week later, he gets humbled by basically seeing that his own project was one of them to die in the beginnings of a big bear market. And the other one was obviously that Do Kwon was making fun of people who called the project out for its security issues, for problems, and afterwards being humbled in that situation is obviously very painful. But in general, we are seeing there were many dips right now on this way into the bear market, and this might not be the last one. So when Terra Luna happened and we had that sideways accumulation, I said that this is not the end of the bear market. More likely than not, that there will be more lows to come, that we are probably going lower, and that it is a good strategy to keep some money on the sidelines, that you can buy another dip. For me personally, what I did is I selected the projects that I want more of, and I put a little bit of money in right now during that sideways accumulation phase, but also right now that the price fell to a new level. Obviously, I will maintain some liquidity on the sideline so that I can take advantage if the price collapses more, because we don't know which other projects are involved in Celsius or somehow dependent on Celsius and could also tumble and could maybe even fail. These could be platforms of crypto exchanges. These could be other projects that are holding large amounts of Celsius token. I personally had $10 in Celsius token and I couldn't even sell it because the maximum amount for selling is $1 and now it's worth a couple of cents. Anyways, it doesn't matter because I only had that as a small position from way back when I bought a little bit of it. So it doesn't really matter to me, but I know there are other people that have their funds locked in on Celsius. I really hope that you are able to withdraw them and that they are not forever lost in that liquidation phase if they are really not solvent anymore, because the solvency of Celsius is now in question and a lot of people are fearing for their crypto savings. Which brings me to the next point. Is Ecomi safe? Where we have it right now, are our Ecomi tokens safe? So from a project perspective, Ecomi is not involved with Celsius whatsoever. So the project is more likely than not in danger because of all of this. Obviously the price is impacted by the development of the overall crypto market, by everything that is going on. So we have seen it drop down to 0.001 again, and even a little bit below. We have seen a new wick below to an all-time low, and probably we are going to see even lower prices. So if you are looking for accumulating more OMI, which we probably all do, then you should have some money on the sidelines to take advantage of these super deep dips. Now, regarding the question if your Ecomi tokens are safe, that depends on where you have them. And we must say that the only place where your Ecomi tokens are truly safe is on a cold storage, is on a hardware wallet outside of the reach of anyone else. There is the famous saying that everyone knows by now, not your keys, not your coins. And if you have the Omi tokens, as most of us have, on an exchange, then they can get caught up in a tumbling crypto platform that has to liquidate funds and might not be able to pay you your coins, because the wallet address that you have on the crypto exchange is not the one where you have the keys for. The problem is that many of us want to stake Omi to get staking rewards, and we have seen that 6 billion, more than 6 billion of Omi has been moved to Ascendex to stake it for 10 point something APY, which is, when you have staked 1 million Omi, of course, 100,000 extra Omi tokens on the year. The risk is, however, that if the Ascendex exchange implodes, and that is something we all have to be cautious of and constantly monitor how they are doing, that we might be able to unstake our Omi tokens and move them to a cold wallet. Or you have a part of Omi tokens that you're buying right now that you can then move away from the exchange to a cold wallet, while you have another position that you are staking for rewards, where it might be quick change of place because I got attacked by a hornet here. Maybe I was too close to the hive. Anyways. Okay, so because of the hornet attack, I forgot the most important thing of all, and that is reading the Ascendex tweet to you, so I will just fill that into my video at this point. All Ascendex products that utilize DeFi, such as Earn, will continue to operate normally without any stops. We do not utilize Lido STETH for any yield generation and have no exposure to the Celsius lending book. Despite increased volatility in the markets, our risk management systems are functioning normally. We will continue to keep our users updated during these challenging market conditions. If you have this position on the exchange, that should be always a position where you can at least have this little calculated risk that it might all go away. So it has to be a position that you are willing to risk in order to get more Omi tokens, but it certainly shouldn't be everything that you have in Omi. And yeah, by that I can only say that you need to make this risk assessment, and that when the exchange collapses, that you made this decision and that you own this decision, as we have said in the previous videos, because it's you that makes this decision. But other than that, it's good to know that the Ecomi token does not depend on any reserves, for example, in Celsius token, and rather is independent from almost everything, even independent from the value driving factors that are coming from the Veve app. Now, one more thing about this whole meltdown. If you're looking at your portfolios right now, you will see complete devastation if you have been entering the market during the last year, the last 1.5 years. You will see all your gains basically gone. And depending on your personal mindset, on the time that you're already in the market, on your personal experience, that can be a very depressing feeling. And that is where we have to keep in mind that when prices were up, we were wishing for low prices so that we can get another chance, another entry, more tokens of our favorite projects to be able to then capitalize in the next bull run and be able to take higher profits. As they always say, you can make some money in the bull run, but millionaires are made in the bear markets. Obviously, it depends on how much you are willing to spend in the bear market. But right now, this feeling when you're looking at your portfolio that you have built right now and you're minus 50, 60, 70, 80, or for some even 90% in the minus, in the red, that can be a very bad feeling. And that is where we have to get immune of that and assess the situation again and see it as an opportunity. Because short term, yes, we will suffer, and even if we buy right now, buy the dip today, yeah, that might be a 10x profit in 1 year, but until this profit comes, we might see it go down another 50% from here. This can certainly happen. We don't know how far it can go down. We don't know what will happen on the macro scale, but short term, it shouldn't harm us. So finally, there are big whales in the market that are only waiting to scoop up all your Bitcoin, all your Ethereum, all your Ecomi tokens, ADA, Chainlink, VeChain, Chiliz, or whatever you have, because they're only waiting for that waterfall, big red drop that even breaks your diamond hand spirit, because you were not able to withstand that one ultimate drop. And if we are going to see more accumulation to the side, always keep in mind there could be one other disastrous drop before it's all over. Probably until November we can still see more and more downside. We have ripped right now through all the big support levels that we had, and the space to the downside is open in my opinion. So there might be more downside, more collapses, relief rallies on the way to halfway to the Bitcoin halving, which is around November, if I'm not mistaken. So from now, if I am not mistaken here. So for now, we have still around 700 days to go until the next Bitcoin halving. So don't get eaten by the whales or dinosaurs, and be cautious. Toughen your mind, and if you don't have money on the sidelines now, it will more likely than not stay low or go even lower for several months. So there's still time for you to accumulate or to get some dry powder to then pull the trigger in the end of the year before we are starting to go up again. If you look on all the previous bear markets, no bear market, despite the 2020 little crash, was only a crash and then a V-shaped recovery. Most of these bear markets had a month-long bottom, so you don't need to FOMO in right now. You don't need to feel the FOMO to miss out on the deepest bottom. Probably, yes, there might be a wick that you will not hit, but on the long run, if you're DCAing and if you're collecting some dry powder for the next month, you will still be able to buy in at very low prices. So let's sum up quickly to the end of this video. We are in the next meltdown. This might not be the last drop. This drop is caused by the Celsius insolvency or possible insolvency, and by mass fear in the market. Because of that, considering the global overarching situation, our OMI is relatively safe because Ascendex has put out the message that they are not involved with Celsius. And if you want to have the OMI really safe, you need to move them into a cold storage. Don't get eaten by whales. And that's basically everything for this video. So wherever you are on the world, have yourselves a great morning, evening, day, night, or afternoon, despite all of which is going on, and see you in the next video.